the saddle again. Even though I have to admit, I do not like Aerosmith whatsoever. Never have, really. I mean, that song has kind of a catchy, when it starts, but it's a horrible song. And I think the lead singer of Aerosmith sucks. But that's just me. Working on a couple miniatures. I put the topic up there. I know for a fact we won't stay on it because I know the people who come to my channel. But, maybe we could talk about it. I would like to have some good, strong debate on the merits and demerits, I guess, of Hyperborea. It's always good when you really like something, but someone points out, like, well, consider this, because you don't want to be like that guy, like I was with 40K. You don't want to be that guy that's just going to be like super supportive no matter what. Now, I don't think I am with Hyperborea. I think Hyperborea is just the bee's knees, right? The clams, beards, just whatever. But because every other version of D&D that's out, I just don't think it's as good, And today, I'm not even just talking about the setting, which I could go on about the setting for literally ever. I'm talking about the actual rules. Hyperborea just has really good systems. It's designed around a really solid set of systems that makes the game a lot of fun, easy to play. Things make sense in context of the game world because of the way the systems work. Also, if you happen to notice that I'm blinking a lot, I woke up with like an eyelash or something in my eye. It happens, And God, it hurts, man. It is the worst. Hate it. All right, so, and I said, I got my Chthonians. Got a couple of Cthulhu. Right now, I'm kind of organizing my Cthulhu miniatures a little bit. And what that means is I'm taking all the characters that I should have painted by now and actually putting them in a container where I can think about painting them. Because I've painted most of the monsters, but a lot of the characters I have not painted. Like this guy right here, he's actually not a character. That's actually a half-blooded deep one. And he'll be pretty easy to paint because I'll just do his rain slicker and oily black. That'll be a perfect color for that, oily black. And then do his boots and everything up, and he'll be good to go. Good to go. And yeah, I've got quite a few characters in here that need to be painted up for Mansions of Madness. But hey, what's good with you, Daniel? They're mostly for Mansions of Madness, but they could be used for anything else. We do. Okay, there's Vic. Hello, Vic. Let me click the button.
Hello. What up, homie?
I'm just, I've got this box, which is Lovecraft characters I need to paint. And I've got that box, which is full of Lovecraft characters I need to paint. So I'm getting ready to put them in the same box. Big James, how you doing, brother?
Just another day, another dollar, man.
Well, you must have got a raise.
Ain't no raises going on around here besides getting paperwork done. You know.
Yeah. I think for the first, I'm trying to think how many years. Like the first 4 or 5 years I worked at the city, there were no raises at
Huh.
all. Brother. But
Well, I've been working on my new campaign world. The group decided to go into the rabbit hole, and they came out in the new world. So
nice.
they're kicking around the city state of fair right now,
Okay.
getting into duels and all kinds of mischief. One of the characters is a barbarian, and Miss Manners and Miss Cotillion decided they wanted to try to civilize them, and it ended up with a thrown table and a bar brawl in a high class hotel.
See, I know if I were going to make a character who was into dueling, I know who I'd base him on. My man Cassius Clay.
Yeah, well, they there was a duel with knives or whatever, fencing match basically, and they went
Oh,
out
I'm not
there.
talking about Muhammad Ali when he changed his name.
Yeah, I know.
I'm talking about the original Cassius Clay, the number
Oh, yeah.
one duelist in all of North America during his life.
I know who you're talking about. It's the kids out there that are going to be like, "Who's that?
That
Hungar,
guy
you
was such a
reprobate
badass.
you."
As an old man, people tried to attack his house. He had a cannon set up on the landing of the second floor.
Yeah.
So when the guys kicked in his front door and ran in, he unloaded on them with grape shot.
Yeah.
Then fixed bayonet and charged down and killed a couple more of them. They learned not to go up there messing with that Kentucky boy.
Oh yeah.
At one point, they sent him to be the ambassador to Russia just to get him out of America. Because they were just like, Timmy. Timmy knows Cassius Clay. We've talked about multiple times, like Muhammad Ali changed his name from a guy who killed literally dozens of guys to end slavery to a guy who owned slaves. You know what I mean? Because his name was Cassius Clay, who was like the most badass of all of the abolitionists. Like, you did not want to mess with that guy on the subject of slavery because you'd probably end up shot or stabbed with a big ass Bowie knife, which you carried. Carried a big ass knife that had like a 9-inch blade and was not afraid to use it.
Yeah, he wasn't afraid to use it.
No.
Somebody shoots him, he jumps down and takes him on with a knife.
Yeah, that happened, right?
Yeah, he was doing a speech and he had a knife out on the podium.
Well, what happened, is some people had hired an assassin to kill Cassius Clay.
The poor assassin didn't know what he was doing.
And the assassin walked up and shot him.
Yeah.
Didn't know that he kept his big ass knife, which was in a metal sheath, under his coat. The bullet hit the metal sheath of the knife. So Cassius Clay just whips that knife out and goes after him.
Yeah.
And then this idiot decides to sue Cassius Clay for all the damages. And the judge immediately throws it out of court on the basis of this is just how we handle things in Kentucky.
Yeah,
that was the defense.
It was what any sensible Kentuckian would do.
Yeah, that was the actual defense.
Yes,
if someone shoots you, you try to kill them with your knife. That's what any sensible Kentuckian would do. And the judge is like, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. Anywhoozle, though, you're dealing with your paperwork. I assume trucking, or is it?
No, I am doing I'm working on my World Affair, doing some banking nonsense. You know how that is. So, just standard nonsense. I'm trying to get my grimoire done. I'm working on that too.
Oh
So
yeah.
I've got right now. I'm going back through the AD&D player's manual, working on spells, reverses of spells that people don't use. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you never hear of a guy going, "Cause serious wounds." You know what I mean? You don't hear that very often. So
Oh man. That would be kind of the worst cursed item ever. A ring that's like a ring of spell storing, except every spell you store in it is reversed.
yeah.
But you don't know until you actually try to cast the spell. Mobius, how you doing? Good day,
So what was the big fight with you and Bear? I really haven't talked to you since I heard
eh?
about
Who?
that.
You must be talking to Mobius, right?
No, you.
Me and Bear didn't have a fight.
Okay. I thought it was a fight.
Oh no. Bear and Mobius were bickering, and
Oh.
Bear got really mad and quit my stream. And I talked to him later, and he said, like face to face, like on screen anyway, he said he wasn't going to go on a stream where he was going to be, abused, which I guess means, I don't know, did he expect me to ban Mobius? I wasn't going to do that because I don't ban people generally.
Yeah.
Unless they talk bad about my mama, then you're banned. No, not really, but still. And then we were on Shadow's stream the other day.
That was the one I was on. Remember?
Right. Well, that was James L. he was fighting with. That wasn't me.
Oh.
And
Okay.
it wasn't James L. in the chat James Lowry, that I always call Big James. Because I call him Big James so I can keep all the Jameses organized, right? It was Australian James L. Do you know who I'm talking about now? He's been around forever. He lives in Australia and he goes by James L.
Oh.
And him and Bear got into a disagreement about something. And Bear got really mad and quit, which upset Shadow to no end. Shadow was like heartbroken about it.
Oh.
But then I just started, my channel up and we bullshitted around about other stuff for a while. And it was okay. It was just like, I think what happened is Shadow said something, and it was, God, I hate to do this. It was a religious-based statement.
Oh, Jesus. God, can people please keep religion and politics out of Dungeons and Dragons? It is the two things that people should just go, no. You know what I mean?
I hear what you're saying, and I've answered your question, my good sir. The answer is no, they cannot. So they started talking, and apparently, according to James L., who did send me a private message and call me a punk ass bitch.
Oh, you are?
Apparently. And I sent him a message back, and I said, well, call me a punk ass bitch is a good way to get on my good side, I guess. And then he sent back and said, I can't quit you. And I was like, okay, it's all good anyway, But pretty much, I think Shadow had said something like super pro-Christian. And I think that Bear was trying to say something that disagreed with that. It was dumb. I'm not 100% sure. But what I do know is Shadow lost his shit at James L., threatened to punch him in the head.
Yeah.
Which, come on, man.
Oh,
I like Shadow quite a bit. I've never been secret about that, but you can't run around threatening to punch people in the head. Mainly because it makes you.
I'm in an argument right now on X with a douchebag about how I had Justin Alexander at my convention, and I'm just like, okay, let me just say one thing. Justin Alexander and I game together 4 to 6 times a year. You know what I mean? I like the guy. We can sit there and have a political discussion in a calm, rational manner, and it never comes down to "I'm gonna kill you," or anything of that nature. You know what I mean?
See,
It,
you
it
got
just
me at a disadvantage, good sir. I have no idea who Justin Alexander is.
he wrote the book. So you want to be a dungeon master or something like that.
Well, in essence, I agree. And I had to say this the other day because people were talking and they're like, James and religion. I'm like, you guys keep bringing it up. Like, I don't bring it up. I'm sitting here doing something and then someone brings it up and then I go off on, the truth as I know it. So if you never brought it up, if all we ever talked about was Hyperborea, you'd never hear me say anything about anything.
Right.
But people
here's my
bring it up, and then I get lambasted as the guy who never shuts up about religion. But I was very surprised at everything that happened on Shadow Stream. I can tell you, like, I was shocked. I was like, what in the F is going on here? I wasn't 100% sure. It was like, okay, they were going back and forth, but I didn't think it was that bad. However, maybe I've got a much thicker skin for certain shit than other people do. Because I saw what he was saying, and I was like, yeah, who cares, But yeah, Bear just straight went off, and all I can say is I'm not going to judge him because I don't know what's going on in his life. Right?
I don't either.
He might have a perfectly something else is going on and he just went off. It happens. I get it. So no, I'm not going to hate on him or anything like that. But I will say that it was a little bit shocking to me.
I'm.
See, and Mobius is saying he don't know why he doesn't stay in the safe space with the Care Bears. Yeah.
Oh God.
Well, I will tell you this. This is something I've done that I know aggravates Bear a little bit, and I shouldn't do it. But I have said some harsh truths about Nerds Nerd. And Bear does not like that. I actually respect Bear for not liking that since she is his friend. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So he wants to defend his friend. I respect that. 100% I respect that. Oh, Vic apparently thought Bear was really mad at me the other day when he quit your show.
Yeah, I didn't. I was confused because I was off looking at something else, and
all of a sudden everything just blows up, and you're
and
like,
I'm just like, what the hell? I didn't do anything here.
No. Anyway, you can rest assured, Vic. Apparently, it was not me at all. It was James L.
All right. Well, I was a little taken aback because I'm like, usually Bear.
Now, James L. did call me out for stirring shit, and he could be right because I had made an unflattering comment about Nerds Nerd, who Bear really likes. So, but if Bear wanted to defend Nerds Nerd, I already told you, I totally accept that. Would expect it. That's his friend. I don't care. Do your thing, bro. I respect it 100%. But yeah. Now, Mobius and Bear's issue, I don't know what the hell they're fighting about specifically, but yeah, they don't get on. Yeah, he was mad at our make-believe Australian buddy, James L., who I call make-believe because we all know Australia don't actually exist. That's just a mystical land that people made up. I think they all actually live in Peru. James stirring some shit. Nah, hey, I admit it, guys. I will stir that pot. I will. Because it's funny to me. And that's not one of my greatest qualities. I accept that. I will troll and I will stir the pot. But that particular thing had nothing to do with me. If anything, it was James L. defending Shadow. If anything, Shadow had said something. Bear was coming after him about it. James L. stepped in.
I'm going to say this about your stirring the pot. Good. Let the hate flow through.
Right? Like, what? Yeah. What's his name?
Palpatine?
Yeah. Good. Yeah. I would definitely be dark side, guys. I'm sorry. Like, if the Jedi came up to me and they're like, you want to be a Jedi? I'd be like, F you guys.
No.
You guys are a bunch of punk ass bitches.
Yes.
Right? I'm going to figure out how to be a Jedi myself, and then I'm going to use the Force to get laid. It's going to be the best. You freaking 40-year-old virgins in your freaking pajama pants, you have a good time with your life. You know, I'm going to be out here looking slick in black leather, picking chicks up with the tentacle chicks, picking their asses up at the dance club.
The Twi'leks.
That's right. See, I got plans.
It's like I'd just be like, you know what? I'll make my own order, and it'll be better because it'll have blackjack and hookers. You know what? Forget the order.
See, I got a plan.
Yeah.
Right? Because one of the rules of the Sith thing is passion, right?
Yep. Through passion, you gain power. Through power, your chains are broken.
That's right. So I intend to be the most passionate. They could call me Sith Goth. I'd have like the black hair dye and black makeup on my mouth and my nails painted black. Be wearing like boots and a long black coat, you know. Every time I entered onto the scene, instead of like it playing like some Star Wars music, it would be like the Joy Division would crank on, or Bela Lugosi's dad or something. Just be like, oh shit. And I'd get a purple lightsaber because purple is my favorite color.
I was going to say I'd have the purple Sith robes.
Right? And because I played the shit out of Knights of the Old Republic online, I know where to go to get the crystal to get the purple lightsaber.
Oh, you mean the whatchamacallit crystal?
Kyber.
Yeah, Kyber crystals.
Yeah, the reason the Sith have the red lightsabers is typically they're using synthetic Kyber crystals. Squirrel! Which are all red. Like if you want a white lightsaber, you have to get the pearl from a crate dragon.
They must have changed that in lore, because in one of the lore I heard that the reason the lightsaber's red is because you had to bleed the crystal.
You had to do what?
You had to bleed it.
I don't know what lore you're talking about. I can only tell you about the lore from Knights of the Old Republic Online.
Yeah, SWTOR.
Mr. Hermit Man. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was right about that, though. Yeah, in the SWTOR, it was that they had synthetic crystals.
You could be right. I'm not arguing with you. I'm just telling you, in the game, if you wanted a white bladed lightsaber, you had to get a crate crystal, or pearl, which meant going to Tatooine, hunting down a crate dragon and killing it, and then going through its guts to find the pearl. And then you could use that pearl to make
Luke on Hoth thing in a tauntaun, huh? Go dive in there.
That's a tauntaun, not a crate dragon.
Right. And let me tell you, crate dragons do not enjoy being killed.
No.
It's not their thing. They're not fans.
No, they're more on the other side. They enjoy the killing.
And they're incredibly rare.
Yeah.
So it's not even enough that you have to kill a great dragon. You got to find one. But needless to say, my Sith character on the game had the white lightsaber.
Mine used the purple lightsaber.
Purple was pretty easy to get.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy, but it wasn't that hard. White was hard. That was the one where, like, when you busted out the white lightsaber, people were like, "Oh shit!"
Now, Sith Warrior was my favorite storyline.
It was a great storyline. The Sith Warrior, you had the cute little blue Twi'lek that followed you around.
My favorite romance interest.
Yeah.
Like,
you know what? She was loyal to the end, too.
Yeah, I know. That's what I liked about her. She was like a very loyal character, and she was also very funny and snarky to most everyone but you.
Well, she knew not to be snarky to you.
Or she just, you didn't really give her a good reason to be snarky to you. You could just befriend her.
That's it was true. Fun to be you were always kind of like, I know my character was always totally cool with her.
Yeah.
Like, I never treated her bad. I was always like.
I like that it allowed you to just basically snark the person with her. And it was just like so funny.
Crazy thing was that I actually
of the rest of the part, like the rest of the cast of the story. What was that?
I think I told you this. By the time I got to level 50, my Sith Warrior was a good guy.
Yeah.
I was like almost 100% on the light side as a Sith Warrior.
You do that. It's like you're basically like, yeah, I'm just trying to change the Sith to be less like brutal.
Yeah, my thing was I didn't do any needlessly evil, cruel shit.
Yeah, that's my way of playing too.
I mean, if I had to kill somebody, obviously I killed them. Let's not be crazy, right? But I didn't do needlessly cruel, stupid shit. I would just roll in, handle business, roll out.
Here's something, James. On Tatooine, did you have to fight your evil self on that?
Yeah.
Planet? Okay.
Yeah.
So
and it was hard.
Yeah.
You know, there was a lot. Do you remember the one part of Tatooine when you have to go in and fight like that big spider bug alien thing?
Yeah, I do remember that. That was pretty hard whenever I did it too.
That wasn't a good one.
No.
Now, the hardest class in that game was the freaking operator.
Yeah.
Especially if you chose scout. If you chose to be an operator or scout like sniper, it was like, get out of here.
Oh, I like the sniper.
Except you can't solo shit hardly.
I mean, kind of. Nowadays, it's not that bad. You could easily solo everything. Now they made it way too easy a bit.
They always do that.
Yeah.
They did that with my beloved Dark Age of Camelot. When I played Dark Age of Camelot, it took as much XP to go from level 49 to 50 as it took to go from level 1 to 49. And then they come out and they said, we're going to even out the XP. Next thing you knew, everyone was level 50, which for those of us who had devoted 12 hours a day of our lives for literally a year, it was like, well, we're losers. But then I kind of knew that anyway. But yeah, that game, I was so addicted to that game.
I know one thing that made the early where they actually made it tough to go through it was my my Jedi consular. I kind of somehow made it all the way to the final boss, 5 levels under the proper level for that.
Never played.
Everything was like solidly red for me. I couldn't. It was hard for me to fight anything.
I never played the good guy side, but for about 10 minutes, and I was like, yeah, these guys suck.
Yeah.
And then I went back and I made a bounty hunter. Now, what was awesome is my wife and I always played Hutball together. And I had my Sith Warrior, and she played a Sith Inquisitor.
Yeah, they have good combos, at least.
That is the best combos, because she could, like, throw me or pull me to her, or, you know.
Yep.
So I'd be carrying the ball, and she would run above like on the walkway above me. And if I started getting into trouble, she just snatched me up to where she was on the walkway.
Yep.
And being that I had so many thousands of hit points, it was like, yeah, you're not just going to gun me down. You know,
It's
that
kind of
shit
like
might
my.
work with somebody.
It's kind of like my consular. My consular was a big tank too. I chose like to
That
be a
was my warrior.
shadow tank.
You know how you spent your freaking skill points, right?
Oh yeah, I remember.
Every one of my skill points was pretty much make me the tankiest tank of all tanks.
Yeah.
So it was just like, all right, come get this shit. You know.
I remember that too because again, at one update they made it where you had few more levels, but I still had like the old PvP gear. So I went into the PvP arena and
Right.
basically became unkillable just because I'm running around with like PvP gear while everybody else doesn't have that. And it's just like, oh well, I'm just sitting here just like tanking everything. Like I'd have the entire enemy team, and there'd be one healer healing me while the rest of my team was just finishing the objective while I did that.
Yep. That was a hell of a game for a while.
If Squirrel Hermit is talking about the Tarkovsky cartoon, yes, that was good.
Yeah. Well, Tarkovsky always does good stuff.
Oh, I know. He did really good with the Star Wars the Star Wars cartoon that he did.
Yeah. So Jackie and I just watched the first 3 movies. Huh. Well, I mean, I'm glad you're spending time with your son.
Yep.
That's a good thing. Even though if you have HBO, what I would suggest you do is look up True Detective season 1 and sit down and watch that with your son.
I do gotta say, I did really like the Operatives storyline too.
Right.
It was a fun one.
Timmy, have you ever seen True Detective?
Nope.
Do you have access to HBO?
Nope.
Well, if you ever have access to HBO at any point in your life, do me a favor and watch True Detective.
I'll give it a try eventually.
If it ever happens, I'm not holding you to it. But if it ever happens, True Detective is the best season of television ever made.
Even better than Columbo?
It is the best season of television ever put on camera, ever. Yes, that is a hill I would die on. There is no better season of TV ever made than True Detective season 1. It's like, it is so freaking just good. So I've decided, guys, to paint this giant ass altar to Cthulhu, the soapy green color, because I remember in one of the books.
That sounds good, Squirrel Hermit.
Yeah, breakfast for dinner.
I got a question for you guys too.
Okay.
I have answers.
Since we're talking Star Wars, any of you guys went to the Grogu Mandalorian movie?
No.
Screw that shit.
Huh?
No.
No, sir.
Oh, okay, well, I guess we're not going to talk about that.
I'm sorry, I gave up on Star Wars. It's not good.
Yeah, well,
I stopped watching Mandalorian after season 2.
Let's put it that way. I gave it a 5 out of 10. I'm too far. I'm too far into old lore, old George Lucas lore, than this newfangled bullshit. You know what I mean?
Well,
Yeah.
the thing is, I haven't seen it, but the people like Geeks and Gamers and Nerdrotica stuff have just been tearing it a new ass.
I gave up on Star Wars after the sequels trilogy.
For me, it was at the end of Mandalorian season 2, and I was happy. Like you know, when AI Luke shows up and just starts effing up all the dark troopers and shit.
Yeah.
And then Grogu goes with Luke. I thought that was the best. I was like, yeah, you can end it here. This shit is done. It's great.
Yeah.
And I was so happy that the people in charge, Filani or whatever his name is, had
Filoni.
made Luke the badass he is supposed to be.
Yeah, like he's supposed to be instead of the
Instead
sequel
of a
trilogy.
bitter old man living on an island drinking freaking alien boob, juice. Because the Luke that walks into that freaking ship and fights those dark troopers, boy, he is. You know what I'm saying?
It was the Luke that he was meant to be.
That was the Luke that was in the books.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like I love too. One of my favorite parts is when he like grabs that dark trooper and lifts him up and just does that, and you see the dark trooper just crush. You know what I mean? And they're like, "Open the door," and they're like, "No, don't open the door." And I'm sitting here with my wife. I'm like you can keep him out.
Yeah.
I mean, Luke Skywalker is on the other side of that door. He's coming through. You know what I'm saying?
There's no stopping Luke.
My Gen X ass that saw the original Star Wars when I was like 7, I loved that. Like I'm sitting there watching the show and I'm liking it, but then there's the scene where they're in the bridge and you see that X-wing whip by, and I just looked at my wife and I'm like, "Oh shit!" And she's like, "What?" And I was like, "Is it Luke?" And she's like,
It is.
"What?" And then you see it land and you see that black glove and you're like, "Oh shit, it is the man." But then again, I had read some of the, the extracurriculars as far as after the movie.
The extended universe books.
Right. And Luke Skywalker was an absolute badass. Now, granted, he did turn to the dark side for a little while, which may have been like on purpose.
Okay, let's divide this up. There's the Lucas Star Wars, and then there's Disney Star Wars.
Right.
Yeah.
I know when I bust out my West End Games or my Star Wars Saga Edition book, which isn't often, but about once every 5 years, and I play the game, I am 100% playing Lucas Star Wars.
Yep.
Right.
I am not playing any of the Disney shit. I don't care about it. And it seems to me like the Disney stuff, and I know we're off topic of Hyperborea, but it almost seems like the Disney stuff was designed specifically to neuter and spay the heroes from the Lucas stuff.
No, you know what it was? And I got this from a Star Wars author. It was they didn't want to pay the residuals or the royalties for anything. That's why they stopped printing any of that shit and everything. They didn't want to pay anything.
Well,
they were the complete dicks about it.
I will take your word for it, and I will just say it was probably a bad business decision made by whoever.
Kathleen Kennedy.
Yep.
Because they had endless amounts of books, and they had all that lore. You know, you had Luke Skywalker. Hell, they could have made movies about Luke and it was Han and Leia's children, wasn't it?
Yep.
The twins that went off and like one become evil and
Jaina and Jason.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, they could have done so much. They just didn't want to, and it's like whatever. Then do you, man? Whatever.
Yep.
But I ain't paying for it.
Anakin Skywalker, or no, Anakin Solo died on the Vong, and Chewie died because of the Vong on Serpendal, and see, that's how much I've read all
So
those.
you know your lore, right? Because the Vong I don't know a lot about, except that during the war, like billions of people died.
Right. Yep. The Vong were anti-technologists. They were Luddites.
Yeah, they made everything out of living things, right?
Right.
Yeah, if they go bankrupt, right? That's all I'm, kind of to quote, what was his name? Ivan Drago. If he dies, he dies.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about Star Wars.
It's sad, though. I would have liked to see a true Thrawn, movie.
Oh yeah, that whole series where Thrawn takes over and he's like running shit.
Yes. And the only reason he loses is because of the betrayal of his most trusted bodyguard.
Who ended up married to Luke, right?
No,
No?
Luke was married to
Luke was married to the hot redhead. I thought she had
yeah,
worked for
she
Thrawn.
was the Emperor's assassin.
Oh,
Mara
okay.
Jade.
Okay.
Mara
Confused.
Jade.
Yeah, you're thinking Mara Jade. The bodyguard, I forgot what he was. What was he? Do you remember,
Okay,
Vic?
I got
Which
confused.
bodyguard?
The one that kills Thrawn.
Oh God. Now you're testing my Star Wars lore here.
I
Is
think
he
he killed him
testing
with,
your gangster?
I think it was I think he killed him with like this spear or something. I can't remember.
Okay, we got to do the Google search now.
Okay.
Yeah. Timmy has officially tested Vic's gangster when it comes to Star Wars.
The Nagori bodyguard.
Yeah.
I know the Nagori were because they were beyond those red.
Fruit.
Yeah, they were beyond those the red capes. They were aliens that
Mobius has it. Mobius is killing it in the chat. He's got Mary Jade, the Nagori.
Yeah, I knew it was the Nagori. I just didn't know the name of the guy. So, but the Nagori were recruited by Darth Vader off their planet and they became the Emperor's bodyguard because what happened was he was using them as a what do they call that? He was blackmailing them to save their planet. They would ship in food, and to keep them loyal, they were the Emperor's bodyguard. So
hey, totally
It was-
believable. I mean, the Ottomans did the same thing, so.
It was crazy what Thrawn did, though. He would actually turn put in the atmosphere a bunch of asteroids so people couldn't leave a planet.
Well, wasn't that kind of Thrawn's whole thing? Is he was like just the super genius?
Yep.
his thing was he would look at the art of people, the lands that he was going to fight against, and
Hey, George.
he could look through the art. He'd interpret the art as to how they were going to fight, their battle styles were going to
Hey,
be.
George.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, that's not a bad way to think about it.
Everybody's got a
like a
different
pretty
way.
smart way to think about it. So here's my other Cthulhu idol that I did. These are both from Reaper. I did them both that greenish kind of weird soapstone color because
It makes sense for Cthulhu.
well, that's in the Call of Cthulhu. They do have the statue.
Yep.
And they do talk about how it's like a weird green
Yeah.
stone that doesn't appear to be anything we know of on Earth.
Although it's weird because it kind of looks like jade to me.
Well, because it come from somewhere that wasn't Earth, is the thing, though. They loved Vade, so they followed Leia. I don't know, except for the fact that I've seen this particular one in art, and I thought she was very striking. But the Sith Twi'lek, that was all red and black.
Darth Mara,
Really?
I think it was Talon. Darth Talon.
Yeah, she was a very striking Sith Lord.
Yeah.
Like, which is why I say the Sith are the best. Because, they don't
That's
got
just
hot.
the way you roll, man.
They ain't got hot, big booty, freaking Twi'lek gothy chicks.
In skimpy outfits.
Right?
You were just a Ventress fan. That's all.
Oh, man.
I don't really care for Ventress myself. I don't know.
Was Ventress the one that wore like the white mask?
No,
No, there was no mask there. That
yeah,
was
there
her
was no
face.
mask. That was her face.
She was a Witch of Dathomir.
Oh, okay. So like kind of like Darth Maul, but the female version.
Yeah.
I remember her. Didn't she train under Dooku?
Yeah, she
Yes.
trained under Dooku. She
Well,
was
she
Dooku's
first trained
assassin.
under. Remember, she first trained underneath a Jedi, and then
Yep.
Dooku found her and picked her up, and it got ugly.
Right. You know the thing about Count Dooku, at least as far as I know, he really didn't do that much bad.
No,
And
Although
apparently the reason he turned to the Sith was because the Jedi kind of effed him over a little bit on his home world or some shit.
Yeah,
it
that
was-
was because he was a prince when he
Yeah.
was taken. He was a prince, and he was supposed to go back or something like that. I can't remember the storyline. Maybe whoever it is that's on here that's saying stuff. Yeah, it was messed up.
Yeah. Seems like quite a few of the Jedi in the extended, or not Jedi, quite a few of the Sith in the extended universe kind of got pushed into it.
yeah.
Well, you know what? The
Just
Jedi
by,
Order wasn't always right.
happenstance.
The Jedi Order wasn't always right. Let's just put it that way.
Hey, you remember that first animation that came out for the Old Republic when the Sith warriors walking into the Jedi Council area?
Oh yeah, that was a cool one.
That's a pretty cool one. And the ship crash lands inside of the Jedi thing, and the gate drops, and you just see red lightsabers. Yeah, that was a good one. That is a good one. God. You know, it's kind of wild. We sit here and we do nothing but talk shit. Got to prep for the game group. Nice. I usually do the prepping during the week. That way, game days, I just relax, hang out,
He's gonna
whatever,
fight a
hang out
lich
with the wife.
tonight. Fighting a lich tonight. That should be fun.
Like it was when I fought the
Yeah,
Draco
it would be
Lich.
fun, like a colostomy.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's like fighting that Draco Lich for my group.
Yeah, I'm just saying that it's like, as a bunch of older Gen X guys, we can sit here and just absolutely love Star Wars and absolutely hate everything about Star Wars now. It's so weird, man. It's
But here's
almost
the
like,
funny thing: Timmy's in his 40s. I mean, he's way
I'm not in my
behind
40s.
us here.
I'm
you
only in my
know-
early 30s.
Huh?
I'm only in my
Timmy's-
early
oh,
30s.
the final battle of Barrow Maze. Wow. Okay.
Hey,
That is a tough one.
well, yeah,
yeah,
Vic,
Tim-
you're
Timmy's
trying to
a
add
baby.
10 years.
Timmy is a baby.
He's trying to add 10 years to me.
I know, right? Like literally in an alternate universe, Timmy could be my son.
How
But
old are
only
you,
if his
Tim?
mom had been redheaded.
Tim?
32 right now? Wait, what? Yeah, 32.
Yeah, you could
So
be
I
one
would
of
have
the
been
kids.
23. So if your mom's a redhead,
I had an affection for redheads at one point in time,
I'm joking, Timmy. I'm joking.
and I did get through Kentucky a few times, but I don't remember any redheads sharing my bunk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I'm joking, Timmy. I'm sure your mother is an honorable and pure woman from a noble family.
She is.
There you go. And you at least know who your father is, right?
Yeah, I still live with them. Sort of.
And everyone who says otherwise is a pig-eating son of a whore.
Hey,
We kind of have a whole
those
family
Muslim
living here.
insults are not good.
Yeah, because you know where I got that, don't you?
Yeah, I know.
Because the one guy's like probably some thin-necked camp girl like this one's mom. And Ibn's out like, my mom was a pure, noble woman. Yeah. from a noble family, and I at least know who my dad is, you pig eating son of a whore. I was like, wow, okay. That is one way to make the introduction to the group. I mean, don't just say, hey. Don't be like, hey, guys, I've been listening. I kind of got your language a little bit. We can chat. No, you got to lead off by calling them all pig eating sons of whores. Of course, the Varangian just laughs. He's like, all right, whatever. Because I don't care what anyone says. The guy who speaks Greek is obviously Varangian. Because that is the only way it makes any sense that a Northman would speak Greek. Is he would have had to have spent a term serving the emperor in the Byzantine Empire, and he would have had to learn Greek. And he spoke Greek fluently, so it's not like he visited. He had to have lived there for a long time. At least that's my headcanon. That's what I'm going with, and I don't care.
Oh, James, talking about lineage, though, I did learn about. I did have a family member who fought in the Revolutionary War and the Civil War.
Me too.
And the guy who fought in the Civil War fought for the South first, then the North.
Yeah. The one I found that's the most famous is Major Thomas McKee, who fought for the 5th Kentucky Cavalry under the Orphan Brigade, which was, I think, assigned to the Army of Virginia or something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm not 100% sure if, like, how many others there would have been or who they fought for. And the other thing is, at some point in the 1800s, a huge chunk of my family line moved to Pennsylvania. Because during the 1700s, they all moved to Kentucky when it was the Crown Colony of Virginia, right? And then at some point, a bunch of them moved to coal country, southeast Pennsylvania. And there's a lot of towns up there that have my surname, McKeesport, McKees Rock.
I think for the Civil War guy, I think he had the last name of Pilkerton, though.
So, I mean, I would assume those guys up in Pennsylvania probably fought for the North, right?
Yeah. But yeah,
and the guys who stayed down south probably fought for the South. So,
Yep. You know how people didn't know how to spell names or pronounce properly, so some of my family probably has a name like Pilkerton, Pilkington. It's fun, isn't it? Are you okay, James? I think we lost him.
Oh,
there he goes.
I'm having the connection
Yeah, there he goes.
issue bullshit. Live stream for me if that didn't happen.
I think James.
Go ahead.
I think James's computer's having a stroke.
No, it's just the we got a storm.
Oh.
Yeah, you got that afternoon storm down there in Florida.
Yep.
So
we had it earlier. I think we're going to have like an evening of rain too, maybe. But like I said, Florida's got 2 seasons, wet and dry.
Kentucky has all the seasons in one day.
Right. Well, the thing
that's
with Florida
is in April.
Yeah. The thing with Florida that people forget, even sometimes the ones that live here, is we're in the subtropics.
Yep.
And if you go down to the Keys, you're pretty much in the tropics, right? So when people migrate down here from up north, as I did, it's easy to think that, I'm going to move down there and it's going to be like home. No, it's not.
No.
You might as well move to Vietnam as to move to southern Florida,
My mom's like, we should move down there. My dad's like, no.
Here's the thing. Florida is the land of opportunity as far as no taxes, lots and lots of jobs, high-paying jobs even.
Fair.
But it's starting to get so crowded. It's like the town that we moved to a while back in Florida used to have like a population of maybe 5,000. It's got like 70,000 now.
Yeah.
And it happened quick. We're talking like a couple decades.
Yeah. I mean, my dad talks about how
that's
it's
just
like
Florida, man.
My dad's like, yo, yeah, when I was young, you could just go drive for hours, maybe see one or two houses. Now it's like house, trailer, 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 house, trailer, trailer, trailer.
Luckily where I am, it is kind of like that, but no. If I go down like say Blue John Road, I can drive 10 miles and never see a house.
Yeah.
Until I get to the farmhouse I grew up in. And then I can drive another 5 miles before I see the next house.
It's also kind of sad because, I mean, I'm used to seeing like tobacco whenever I run by a farm. You don't see tobacco nowhere.
Soybean.
Yeah, it's all soybean.
Yeah.
Such a sad thing to see.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know back in the 90s, the number one cash crop of Kentucky was actually marijuana.
Weird. Because you think it would be tobacco because it's
people were growing a lot of weed in Kentucky.
I'm not happy about that. I don't want it around me.
Well, like in eastern Kentucky, they'd go into the forest, even the Daniel Boone National Forest, find a clearing, put chicken wire up around it, and just grow it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys remember back in the 90s when a National Guard helicopter got shot down over Daniel Boone National Forest.
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised.
It took fire. It took fire. It got damaged pretty bad.
Oof.
So, now you don't have all that so much.
That's because it's legal in so many places it doesn't matter.
Right. But what we do have is like certain outlaw biker gangs will like buy a shitty single wide trailer and set up a cook site.
Yeah.
And then they'll come to Kentucky to pick up the product, and then they will take it to wherever they're going to sell it.
Yeah.
But then a side effect is some of it gets sold in Kentucky.
True.
And then the ones who really betrayed Kentucky more than anyone is the medical system. Because there's a period in the late 80s, early 90s where you could go to the doctor with a scraped knee and they gave you oxycodone. It was like they were handing that shit out like it was
candy.
free. And of course, what you would think happened did happen.
Yep, people get addicted to it.
Everyone got addicted to it. They even had a name for it. Still have the name for it. It's called hillbilly heroin. That's the nickname for oxycodone. Humid, yes. Humid always.
Unless you're near the coast.
A big trick of living in Kentucky is buy yourself some Gold Bond. Powder your socks and your underwear. You'll be a lot happier.
See you, Mobius.
See you, Mobius. Because otherwise, you will have, as we call it down here in Florida, swamp ass. That's uncomfortable when you're walking around and your whole ass just feels wet because you sweated. So, yeah, you need to powder that shit up. I mean, there's some things you can do that make living in Kentucky living in Florida very enjoyable. But the main one I would say is staying indoors in the AC. That's probably step one.
Just get yourself a banjo. You'll fit right in.
Well, like I said, I was up there. It got up to like 70 or 80 during the day, but it dropped to like 40 during the night.
Yep.
So I'm like, fucking great. I love this. I mean, yeah, the hot weather during the day might be whatever, but the fact that, it gets cold enough for me to sleep at night My poor wife was cuddled up in blankets. She's from Chicago. She was cuddled up like she's going to die. I'm laying there in my underwear. No blankets, just like, oh, God. Yep. So I got these, and they were very cheap. This guy was selling these for like $10 for 3.
Nice.
They're gigantic. Well, they're large crabmen. Now, we'll talk about gaming for a little bit. For whatever reason, crabmen play an important role in Hyperborea. I don't know if they play an important role in any other D&D settings or other fantasy settings, but in Hyperborea, they play a really important role. They have a huge city out in the water off the coast of the Crab Archipelago. They actually are of a level of technology to where they can build spaceships and shit like that. So they're constantly launching ships. But the thing with their spaceships is they're full of water. And that's why on the cover of the book, you see the guys and they're like in, I don't know if that's like it looks like a swamp. And giant spiders are coming up on them. But the aliens in that spaceship, those are crabmen. So one of their ships broke apart and crashed, and now the barbarian, the wizard, and the paladin are getting ready to go through it and see what they can see.
Now, you guys know, I don't know if you guys have ever studied sci-fi, that that's one of the ways they're talking about to stopping what do they call that when your ship is accelerates super hard, is to have people encased in water while you're in flight, while you're under acceleration.
Right. Because otherwise the acceleration, if it's too high, would just jellify you.
Right. Well, you can't compress water, you know what I'm saying? So, or you can minimally compress it. So that's why they're talking about that. So,
well, they do it because they breathe water.
Right. But this is just another, I didn't know if you knew that scientific.
I did not. Thank you for sharing that. So the crabmen breathe water. Their spaceships are full of water, but they can survive for 3 days on land because they're crabs. And like almost any crab you catch in the ocean can live quite a while on land somehow, you know. It's like somehow they keep water on their gills or something. I don't know what they do. They're wild creatures, but yes, a lot of the adventures in Hyperborea kind of play on the idea that the players are going to encounter crabmen at some point or another. So I kept trying to get the crabmen from Reaper, which are really cool. You know, I mean, it's a matter of taste, I guess, but the Reaper crabmen look like that. So kind of cool, but the shell is upside down, really, for a crab. But it's cool. It's got multiple arms and big pinchers, and it's really cool. Whereas the WizKids version is just a giant crabman, right? And one thing that makes dealing with them a pain in the ass is coat your weapons with rid, right? The crabmen, all of their like guns and shit are designed to be used by specifically like pinchers. Spaceship full of water. How do they carry all of that? Magic, like they do rituals to Yog Sothoth or something, and somehow it works.
Well, you know what? If they have that much water, you would go ice mining up in space to get the. That's what I would do.
Shadow and I have been debating about the paradox between mass and thrust for a while because of sci-fi. Daniel, how you doing, my brother? Yes,
Hey,
it
once
would.
you get going in space, and if you keep the thrust on, you know what I mean? You can just continue to
But
go. I mean, unless you find a gravitational wall or something like that, you're going to just keep going and going.
no, I'm going to hand wave this shit like crazy style because Shadow knows. I know Shadow knows. He's read enough Lovecraft to know that there are creatures in Lovecraft that, for whatever reason or not, can fly at faster than light speeds through space. You know what I mean? So I don't know what to tell you guys. It's a fantasy game. I mean, I've got it right here. It doesn't pretend not to be a fantasy game. It specifically says science fantasy. It's not trying to be realistic. And there's a huge city full of crabmen. And sometimes they launch ships to wherever they go. Who knows? Doesn't really say. You're grumpy? I'm sorry, bro. Caught me hand waving. Yeah, yeah. You know what they don't got on their ship though, Shadow, is artificial gravity. So there you go. Ha.
And hence they're floating in water. They don't need it.
You don't need it. Oh, I had the most unfulfilling random encounter in my game Saturday night of all time. I made the player roll Jay because he's like all about rolling bad. So I always make him roll for wandering monsters because I know if anybody's going to roll a one, it's him, right? And he rolls a one. And then I have him roll the wandering monster. It's a manticore. The manticore hits the ground, splays out its freaking iron shards at everyone. Initiative is rolled. The assassin throws her magic dagger at the manticore, hits with the nat 20. The manticore fails its save and instantly dies. And I'm like, well, damn. Because her dagger is like, if you roll nat 20, your opponent has to make a save, death save, or die. You know, like, so think like a dagger of venom or something like that. What game are you running tonight? Dragon Slayer? But for those of you who were on the other day, you can rest assured that Hungar found a weapon that was magical and took it. And like when the group was like, well, who should get it? He was like, me. and he kept it too. Yes, that's how they do it in 2300 spin habitats. For short range flights between planets, you can rely on acceleration and deceleration, but you can't do that for very long range flights. So, yeah, you need to have the spin habitats. A great movie that goes into the spin habitats, I think, is what is it? They go to one of the moons of Saturn or Jupiter, and they end up getting ate by a glowing squid. The Europa Report is a good movie. Great acting, great everything. Actually, sort of hard science. Yeah, but Dragon Slayer. Well, I noticed you've been posting a lot about BattleTech, which, you know, I'm here to listen to it. I mean, post all you want about BattleTech. Yeah. I haven't had any of my gamer buddies come over in a while to play war games. It makes me sad because I've got Baron's War, and Baron's War looks like it's going to be an amazing game. You know, with all the knights and the Knights Templars and all the shit you can do with it. But there was another game kind of like that, but Cold Iron showed me that. Um, but I think the guy who does Oathmark does a game called Silver Bayonet, and it's like Gothic horror during the Napoleonic War. Yeah, Baltec forever. So in the thing, you pick which country you want to play. I keep hearing people joining and not joining.
No, it's I'm trying to fix an external hard drive here.
Oh. So yeah, you keep with the now I'm like I'm losing this time I'm losing my mind. That's right. This time I'm losing my mind. Said this anyway. Well, FDM printers, some of them are so good that you're getting to where you can print miniatures that actually look good. I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, and I mean, if you paid them properly, I bet the lines wouldn't show up very well either.
I know there's a guy on YouTube and he printed every monster in the monster manual on an FDM printer.
Yeah, I'm kind of wanting to get another one.
And they looked good. So I can honestly say that they looked good. Some of the new ones, yeah, they're yeah, the 0.2 nozzles on some of these new ones. And I'll tell you, having still have a printer farm, I would take the filament printer over resin printer any day of the week. Because with a filament printer, you literally load the coil of plastic, the filament, into your machine. You put the STL in, and it goes. And you don't need to worry about the fact that if you get the resin on you, it can destroy your kidneys. You got to keep all this alcohol around to wash it. You're always going to end up dribbling it on the floor, and then your wife's going to bitch. So, yeah. And then also the filament printers, you can print like big ass shit.
Yeah.
Like all these, like this, all these buildings that I paint.
You can
for various games like Oathmark or Frostgrave or D&D. These all come off of filament printers.
Yep.
And depending on how big a filament printer is, in the course of a 6-hour day, you could probably print up 10 of these.
Depends on which one you got.
Depends on which one you got, I bet. One thing is, filament printers are always great for like big terrain or building prints.
Well, I printed this on a filament printer right here.
Yep.
Yeah, and that looks great.
Yeah, that looks great too.
I had one of those, but it wasn't printed on a filament printer, and I threw it away. But
damn it,
call me weird.
You're cutting out again.
Okay.
Just letting you know.
Thank you. Anyway, though, yeah, I would probably go with a Mars because I'm a huge fan of the Mars stuff, and they've treated me really well. And I hear their new Mars filament printer is just the bomb. But
the bamboo printer is the one I heard is the one to go to next.
That's what I was going to say. But if it turns out that,
But the problem with the bamboo one is you got to use their server to do stuff. You don't do it locally. And I don't like that idea. I like to have local control over whatever I'm printing.
Like what? You got to do it through the cloud?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't like that.
That's what I say. I don't like that at all. Because, okay, if I'm doing it through the cloud, and let's say the federal government or somebody, because Bamboo's Chinese, they say, hey, he's printing a gun part. You know, hello. I don't want anybody knowing what the fuck my business is, you know?
I just don't want people catching me printing up my big boobied anime girls.
I'm more worried about your wife catching you than anybody
No,
else.
she sees them. I've got one up there. I forget what anime she's from, but she's wearing a red bikini and a red bow.
Oh, well.
My mom keeps saying when she comes down, she's going to take her and make a kimono for her.
Mm.
And then I got the cowgirl from Goblin Slayer. Because, you know, cowgirl.
I got to find somebody to replace this fucking USB. I got to find one of those handy tech type guys that knows how to replace a.
Yeah, my other computer, I plugged the charger into it and smoke started coming out of the keyboard. So I'm pretty sure it's dead.
Yeah, that sounds like it's dead.
I got this little hard drive here. I bought this. I can't remember. It's 500. What is this? It's a 500 gigabyte hard drive, right? And the port is not working on it. I'd like to get it working again so I can fucking get rid of all my music and put it on this and a bunch of other stuff and just have it safely. And I just can't get it to work right. So I'm gonna have to go find one of those techie geek kids that knows how to pull this shit apart and do it. You know.
You're basically doing what I did.
Salute to you, sir. I hope you have a wonderful game, and I hope everyone has
good luck on your game,
fun.
Yep. But yeah, Vic, you're basically doing the same thing, but with music. What I did with my hard drive and my shows.
Yeah, I just want to get all my music off my drive. I want to get all my Dave Con stuff on another drive. I want to just divide it up and, instead of uploading it all to the cloud and it costing me X number of dollars a month, I just, put it on my own drive.
Where I put it, Shadow, but I have a 32 millimeter Deja Thoris, and she's got like a sword in one hand and a pistol in the other hand. I painted her up all orange and everything with the black hair. It's a wonderful miniature. I love it.
Oh, God. Then I got a nephew down there in Florida who just got his driver's license. Stay off the goddamn roads if you're over by Tampa.
I'm not.
He's bugging me. Hey, Uncle Victor, will you buy me a car at the auction? Well, sure. How much money do you got, kid? And then his mother's chiming in my other ear. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Uncle Victor.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. I dig it.
Oh. Uncle Victor got a list of cars he wanted, and one of them was a Land Rover. And I was laughing so hard. I was like, I'll buy that car for you. And you have $500 for a headlight? And he's just like, no. I was like, well, then I guess you're not getting a Land Rover then, are you?
Well, it's not even that. It's like just the price to buy one is that ridiculous.
Oh, actually, no, it's not. They're super cheap. If you want a European car down at the auction here down Florida, they are super cheap. It's just the repair expenses are twice that of a Ford or a Chevy for that matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think they're all expensive. I know one of my brother-in-laws has one of those little MG, whatever the British love so much, those stupid little cars.
Yeah.
And it cost him like $1,000.
Are you talking about the smart car?
The what?
The smart car?
No, I'm talking about that stupid little British car that they love so much.
Oh,
I
you
don't
mean
know.
the not the MG, it's the cross country or whatever it
It
is.
looks like a fucking golf cart.
Yeah.
I don't even know how people get in it. I know in the Italian Connection or whatever, there's a whole scene where they race around
The
inside.
MG. The MG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's got one,
Yeah.
and the yearly tune-up is $1,000.
Yeah. That's right. People don't get it, man. Those little British sports cars, they cost a fortune. I could have bought I saw a 2020 Jaguar go across the line at the auction for $6,000, and it only had like 40,000 miles on it. But I looked at it, I'm like, I don't want the fucking headaches. You know what I mean? So
You know what the Jaguar reminds me of?
I don't
This
know.
old joke. Why don't the British make computers? They
Huh.
can't figure out how to make them leak oil.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's about truth, ain't it?
Yeah, that's an old mechanic joke. Because apparently all the British cars leak oil.
Oh, well.
So, and it's like, okay.
What about a Toyota?
Oh, they're double the price of a domestic one. It's amazing. This auction, I swear to God, the Japanese cars go for twice the amount of the American cars, and American cars go for twice the amount of the European cars.
Yeah, I guess you're talking about the auctions, though.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah. If
if
you're
you're
asking
a
if
good
Japanese
mechanic,
cars
Kenny,
are good, some of them are very good.
Yeah,
Kenny,
Toyotas are.
if you were a really good mechanic and you had 25, 30,000 bucks, and you know where the market was to sell these cars, I wouldn't hesitate to buy one of these down there in Florida. But you know what I mean? Because they're all rust free, nice cars. But the
Yep.
problem is that there's no market down in Florida because they cost too much to fix. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
I know
mean,
here I think we spent like what 12,000 for our Highlander.
yeah, but how many miles were on it?
About I think it was like around 100,000.
Yeah, you would spend every, depends on how old it was, you'd spend every bit of that. So
I know that the Highlander, though, if you get the right one, it'll last you 400,000 miles. So if it has like 100,000, you're still getting a pretty good deal on it.
I spent 12 grand on my Fiat 500 Sport. It was brand new with less than 50 miles on it, and paid it off. And man, I had so much fun. I got the manual transmission because I knew no one would try and steal it.
Yeah, that's
And
the
plus,
best
it's
security
so
feature.
flat down here in Florida that a manual transmission is just fun.
Yeah.
You know, popping the clutch right off the line and shit. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Of course, then I sold it to my dad, and he took it to Kentucky, and within a week it was totaled.
Oh,
Yeah. Why? Because you don't want a manual transmission if you live in the mountains.
true. I can see that being a problem.
Yeah,
actually.
unless you really know what you're doing, you're going to have problems.
it's just, I mean, I'm looking at the cars right now in the auction. Everything's over 100,000 miles. I do not want to even touch a car with over 100,000 miles on it.
I
And
get
I'm
it.
not, I don't know where these come from. You know what I mean? I don't know what dealer they come from. While the government cars, I know that, oh, something's wrong, it gets fixed right away. You know what I mean? Government just spends money. You know what I mean? Like, oh, well, it needs a transmission. We'll just put a transmission in it. Doesn't cost us anything, We
Right.
don't care.
They'll use a vehicle until it's actually depreciated to zero. I mean, at least I know that's how the government was that I worked for. But anyway,
Yeah, this. It's a nice looking Range Rover that the kid wanted. It's a 2014 with 90 something thousand miles on it, and it's a nice looking car. But guess what? I can't imagine what the insurance rate would be there in Florida for something like this.
A lot.
Well, for a brand new driver, yeah, he's going to pay.
Oh, he's going to pay up through his nose because he
And
just moved out of
he's
his
a boy.
he moved out of his mommy's house. He's got a total of 8 hours behind the wheel, and I'm just like, oh God.
Yeah, he's going to pay a lot.
It, my son, one of
Now,
my
Land
boys,
Rover might not be a bad car, though. At least he's not trying to get you to get him like a Dodge Challenger Hellcat or something.
that's when he first started trying to get me to get by him.
Oh God, no.
Yeah, it'd be like good luck, even if you could afford
And it
the
was
car,
one
you
of the
couldn't afford
police
the insurance.
interceptor ones. It was one of the
Oh,
police
no.
interceptor ones at the auction. And I'm just like, it's a 2022 with 24,000 miles on it. And you want me to buy you a Dodge Charger Hellcat. And
God, not even that.
what are you
That's even
smoking,
worse.
kid?
I don't even
Yeah.
like those Chargers. The modern Chargers suck.
He'd be paying 20 grand a year just in insurance.
Yep.
Corner's nice, though. Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I told his mother? I said I'd rather get him one of those tuk-tuks from India or something.
Right.
Get him a K truck.
Haas was saying something about, I don't know if he read it somewhere or he was just lying to me, that you're going to be able to get K trucks in America.
You can get those. They have to be over 20 years old or 25 years old.
Yep.
All right. I was thinking about like the truck, I think that's made in America, that's electric. And it's like a really small truck and it has no frills whatsoever. And they're talking about selling it for like 8 grand or some shit.
The vehicle has to be 25 years or older. The K truck has to be.
Yeah.
You can use them in Florida. They have to be 25 years or older, and you can register them to go on the roadways in Florida, it says here.
Well, there you go then. The brother was correct.
But anything 25 years or older, you can go to Australia and import a Holden if you wanted to, and
No, I know what I'd want if I went to Australia to import a car.
What's that?
A Ford Falcon.
Ford Falcon.
Yep.
Why? Do you not know what Ford stands for?
Because that's the car that they used in Road Warrior.
Nah.
The V8 Interceptor was just a Ford that had like a mocked up part on the front of it. And for some reason, that particular model of car was mostly just sold in Australia. I don't know why. But yeah. So if I'm going to Australia, I'm coming back with the V8 Interceptor. You know?
Yeah. My Aunt
Or an
Tammy.
STD. Either way.
My Aunt Tammy, she says that she wants an Impala, but she can't get one.
No. And what you want, a 6'4"?
A what?
A 6'4" Impala?
Yeah.
Yeah, tell her she's lame.
Why? You don't like those?
Because everyone knows the Impala you want is the one like Dean and Sam had, which is like, I think, a 65 Impala.
Eh.
The 6'4" Impala is like a grandma car.
Oh, no, she didn't want the 6'4". No, I think she wanted like the 69 Impala.
Yeah, whichever one Sam and Dean had, that's the Impala you want.
I didn't think there'd be much difference between them, but I guess the 64
yeah, from
was,
year to year? Get out of here, man.
I mean, whenever it came to like what was it, the Firebird, they're not too different up until they get like to like I think the early 90s.
Dude, my mom had one of the super shitty Mustangs.
Ooh.
There was a time, I guess, in the late 70s or 80s. I don't know when they made that piece of shit, but it was like a four-cylinder, super small Mustang.
Oh God.
And
Why
it
Oh,
would you
you
do
was
talking
that?
about
an
Cobra
absolute
2s,
piece
Mustang
of shit.
2s? Those
Huh?
Mustang 2s with those 4-cylinder pieces of shit in them?
Yeah, it was an absolute piece of shit. And she had one of those when I was young, and I remember just what a piece of shit that thing was. It was just the worst,
Now my papa, one of the later
right?
vehicles he had was like one of the newer Camaro. He hated that thing.
Now, a buddy of mine had a hatchback, uh, Bubba. It was a hatchback Chevy Nova. It had a 350 in it. It was a badass. And when you opened the trunk, instead of the trunk opening, the whole back of the car opened. Now, I don't know if that was some custom thing or what, but I can tell you this: that dude was obsessed with Chevy Novas, especially the early 70s ones.
You can now
Specifically,
buy
the
in China
71. He
from
loved
China.
the 71 Chevy Nova. That was his.
What can you buy there, Vic?
You can buy the Mustang bodies from China, steel bodies, all steel bodies, brand new for 67 Mustang from China for $16,000, brand new off the line,
Eh,
exact duplicates, the whole 9 yards.
cheap Chinese knockoffs. That's what those are going to be.
No, Haggerty's went over and looked at them, and they said they fit, they are to the standards of what they used to be here in the United States.
And in America right now, I don't know where they make them, but I do know for a fact you can order an engine in a box. You
Oh
know what
yeah,
I mean?
Ford's got the new Godzilla engine that I would love to drop in my pickup truck,
Not
just
Yeah.
to just to make it a sleeper. So it comes up to people with a, pop, 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 whoop, 700 horsepower to the rear end. Make it, your ass end's gonna come up off the ground. You know what I mean?
I would think, yeah.
now, James.
Yeah,
You know
one of my
what?
biggest regrets is when I had a Chevy full size truck and the engine blew up and I sold the body. And now I think back on it and I'm like, I should have just bought a brand new 350 and paid a mechanic to just put it in for me, right? Because everything about that truck was awesome. It just leaked fluids and, someone didn't tell someone, and the next thing you know, it got blown up.
Oh wow, there's a 3-year wait on these bodies out of China for these 67
Yeah,
bodies.
Well, I bet.
yeah. But yeah, James. You know what my papa hated about the new Camaro?
No.
They had no suspension. It was a terrible ride.
Yeah, the original Corvette was like that.
You want to know what a terrible ride is, guys? Go ride in any of these electric cars, and you feel like you're running around like a semi truck.
Yeah, no thanks.
Literally, they feel like you're bouncing around in a semi truck. They got so much weight in them. It's just like, uh, and I rode in one from the airport to my house, and I looked at the guy that was driving it. It was one of those Ubers, and I just said, no, never going to happen again. I am not riding in one of these things. And he goes, why? And I said, this thing rides worse than my semi truck.
See, Bubba, what you're saying, we already know would work because when Dodge put out the Charger and the Challenger originally, they made them kind of look as close to the original as they could. And those things sold like hotcakes.
Yeah, I
And
kind
then
of
the new
want.
Mustang came out and the new Camaro came out, and they
Here you
were
go.
all strongly based on the old muscle car.
Here you go. There is the Haggerty's article about it right there. And I don't, you want to post that up in the YouTube, Tim? I don't know if you can.
So, yeah, that would work. Because
Yeah, it did work.
a lot of people got that nostalgia, man.
Yeah.
If you could buy a clone 67 freaking GTO or some shit like that, people would be lined up around the block.
How about a Plymouth Roadrunner?
Oh, Roadrunner, yeah. Trans Am.
I would love to have a Trans Am. That's one of my dream cars. If I ever had any chance of getting, I'd get that.
What, a
Oh,
Trans
yeah,
Am?
Yeah, like a 69 Trans Am. I'd love to have that.
Well, you would want the one like freaking what's his name drove in Smokey and the Bandit, obviously.
Actually, I kind of want mine with the being yellow with the black racing stripes.
Oh, I'm not saying the color. I'm saying the model.
The
Oh,
76? That was
I-
Smoky Bandit. That was 76
The
Trans Am.
76.
I think I'd prefer the 69 Trans Am over the 76.
Well,
69? They made a Trans Am?
It was a
I don't
Canadian
know if
company.
they did or not.
I don't think they made a 69 Trans Am, did they? Oh yeah, they
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, Firebird.
Yeah,
come
that's that Bonneville's Camaro type body.
Yeah. Nah, I'd want the bird, baby.
Yep.
Just
Firebird.
like I would want it to look just like freaking Smokey and the Bandit.
Hey,
I'd be
fair
moving
enough.
around.
I'm a Ford guy, so I'd have to go with the Steve McQueen 67 Ford Mustang. Rip
Oh,
out the regular motor, drop in something like a Godzilla 800 horsepower with a 5-speed tranny and a posi track, 289 rear end, and go up to a stoplight and let the kids look at me and go, okay, you want to race? Okay, let's go, kids.
And if you're in Florida, when you do that, I will show up to your funeral.
Who, what? Me?
You heard me.
No.
Because that is too much car.
Not for me. I'm not worried
I don't
about
know. I think you'll end up kissing a freaking partition or something.
I did drag racing back in high school. I know when to back out of it really fast. I'm just like, no.
Right.
Most guys are too stupid. They keep pushing on the gas. I'm like, I back out of that sumbitch so fast you make your eyes spin.
Yeah.
The only reason one of the biggest reasons
that is a lot of horsepower, probably a shit ton of torque.
Oh, and it's going to be.
I just want to say the biggest reason why I want my Trans Am being yellow and black racing stripes was mainly because of Red Line.
You know what? You want a Yanko. If you can find a Yanko, that would be the one you want.
Yanko, I don't know what that is.
Yanko, just look it up. They made Yanko Camaros and stuff like that. You find one of those, you'd be like,
I know I would happily ride around in a reproduction General Lee all day, every day.
That does look kind of cool.
Okay, the Godzilla can have a maximum of 612 horsepower and 670 pounds of torque.
Yeah. Horsepower is how fast you hit the wall, and torque is how far you take the wall with you. So for a truck, a lot of times torque is what you really want.
Oh, semi-truck, you want torque. Yeah.
Yeah. If you got a big truck, you want the torque because that's the ability to actually pull through the weight. But anyway.
Hey, Daniel, I'm with you on that. What they should do is they should start taking like the Ford F-150 from the 80s, the bullnose, and start reproducing them like mad, shipping them over here to the United States, and then having a company here just build them up from the ground up, put modern brakes and stuff like that in there, and you can probably get them out the door for under 40.
See you, Daniel.
All right. Have a great one with your game, bub.
I think I gotta go
to.
I think we might be playing soon now.
Aren't you in his game?
Father's game.
Yeah, I'm asking.
Yeah.
So you probably should.
Yeah, I'll see ya.
See.
He's bugging out on us.
Well, I'm just saying, if you're in his game, you probably should go be in his game and not, putzing around with me.
All right. Here's a headline from Minneapolis. I want you to guess who would receive these awards. The Twin Cities are having the prestigious JFK Courage Awards tonight. I wonder who's going to get those awards in this
JFK?
State. Huh?
I said JFK to be a smartass. I'm sorry.
Probably Tim Walz. Ilhan Omar.
I see them on Twitter and I just try to ignore them. But every now and then I just tell them, you guys are traitors. Just FYI. So, whatever. But
you know what? I was listening to one of these ladies. They had another one on here on the news station. They were talking about how they were paying out these workman's comp liabilities, and instead of paying them, $50,000-$60,000, it was high six figures, almost seven figures. And funny thing is, everybody had a name that ended in Ahmed. And I'm like, no wonder why they got all that money to ship overseas,
Hey, that's your state, brother. You love it.
Well, then I looked at another thing, and Somalia does not have an extradition treaty with Minnesota or the United States. So if one of these Somali dirtbags went over with $30 million, we'd never get it. There's no way we'd ever get them back here, So,
well, as far as I know, you could if you wanted to. Though I don't know exactly why you would want to, because it's not specifically mentioned. But you could, in fact, play a Somali in Hyperborea.
I'll pass.
You could do it, though. Think of all of the fun times you could have, like if you tuck over somebody's boat, you could pull the look at me. I am the captain now.
Mm-hmm.
You could constantly look for rice and bananas.
You know what I predict for Somalia? Here's what I was predicting the other day for Somalia. I predict it's going to be a mecca for dirtbags around the world. They're just gonna start going there and be like, oh, well. Because I was reading an article, they were building new hotels and stuff like that at the port of Mogadishu. And I'm just like, yeah, their government's going to be ineffectual, anything else. And what's going to happen is these dirtbags are going to be like, oh, I got a place in Mogadishu I can go to and fly to Mogadishu in a secure compound. And,
here's what I want to know. You and I got into this a little bit yesterday. What rule do you think AD&D did better than Hyperborea?
Oh God, I don't know. I've only played Hyperborea once.
Oh yeah. Did I tell you that Jeff Delanian came on to the chatted with me, sent me a thing on X, friended me, wants to come on and be a guest?
Who's he?
He wrote Hyperborea.
Well, Jesus, maybe I should have him the Dave Con.
I don't know where he lives, but I do know that Double D met him at one of the cons he went to last year and said he was super cool, just a super cool stand-up dude. And Jeff remembered meeting Double D because I mentioned Double D, and he's like, yeah, I remember meeting him. But I don't know where he lives or anything like that. I haven't stalkered the guy, but the show was called Why Hyperborea is the Best D&D Out Now. And apparently he saw it on X and he dropped in to chat. And he was super cool. And you know what? The thing that was most impressive about him is how like humble he was, you know?
Says it's here, Northwind Adventures is in New Hampshire.
Well, because he didn't act like a pompous jackass at all. He was just a totally cool guy, you know? And I was just throwing like my theories about Hyperborea at him, and he's like, well, I can neither confirm or deny that. And he did correct me on one thing. I thought Raven might be Odin. And he said, no, Raven is the god of the Indians from the Northwest of the United States. The Tingit
Okay.
and
What's
the
the
Salish.
difference? What's the difference between Jeff Talanian or whatever, Talanian?
Jeffrey P. Talanian.
Yeah, and what's the difference between him and Delaney?
I don't know who Delaney is.
Jeff Delaney, that's who the guy you're just talking about.
No, the guy who come into my chat, it was Talanian.
Oh, okay. I know he's going to be up here for ArnieCon.
Yeah. Oh, somebody posted some shit on my Discord. I guess Gary Con has gone full off their rocker.
Oh yeah, they got the whatchamacallit now? They got
yeah,
they
they're selling
items. They got the rainbow shirts on now.
And it's like who's in charge of Gary Con?
Oh, that's Luke Gygax.
Well, you know, every time I try to want to like Luke Gygax, he just does something stupid. You know? And as a retired captain from the United States Army, he should know better.
I'm not going to say anything. It's you know, it's his convention. He wants to do what he wants. That's, you know, that's his purview. It's his place. So
yeah, his dad is probably spinning in his grave over it.
I can't say because I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I know that Gary Gygax was an Episcopalian.
He was also wasn't he a Seventh-day Adventist or something like that?
No, a lot of people think he was a Jehovah's Witness because he wrote about how much he respected them, but he was never a member of the Jehovah's Witnesses. However, his birth certificate talks about him being, you know, Episcopalian, something like that.
I don't know.
He was, by and large, a pretty traditional man. A lot of people don't know he joined the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
He did join the Marine Corps. And then he got pneumonia, and they put him out on a medical.
Here's what I say. I don't care what your religion is. I don't care about anything, your politics. Come play games, and let's just, you know what I mean? I'm done after that. I don't need to talk about, you know, I don't want to know what happens in your bedroom. I don't want to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but the problem is, Vic, is that kind of libertine attitude is why we are where we are. Because since the 80s, people like you and I have been saying we don't care. Just we want to play games. But the problem is the people on the other side, they care deeply. They care very deeply. So we have basically ceded all the ground because we said we didn't care. And now Wizards of the Coast is a fucking joke, and Gary Con's doing what it's doing. And it's because, I hate to say it, brother, because we didn't care when we should have. Now, whether there's a chance or not to care anymore, I don't know. Probably not, honestly. It's probably too late to care. But, yep. When you're trying to be the super easygoing dude, but your enemies are trying to fuck you, you get fucked.
Well, we all got our things, man. What we you know what I'm saying? So
oh no, I totally dig it. I'm not saying I necessarily disagree with you. I'm just saying this is what happened. The reason purple haired women are running around being idiots is because 10 years ago we didn't care.
I think that's mainly because parents are bought into the thing where you can't hit your child or you can't discipline your child. That nonsense, you know.
Well, I'm not going to disagree that that could be a factor, but if somebody was in my high school acting a fool, a lot of times they'd get jacked up and they'd learn. But then at a point, people got to where they're like, well, you know, who cares? It's just whatever they want to do. And so we stopped actually correcting this behavior as a culture, as a tribe, let's say. Let's say you're in high school, you're all members of the same tribe. Like for me, it was the Somerset Rebels, but whatever, right? And if somebody was acting up in the tribe, someone else was going to straighten it out at some point. And then at some point, we all decided, no, we're not going to do that anymore. So the kids who are idiots in school, they grow up, and guess what? They're still idiots. Even though I am 100% not taken away from what you said. I think you're right. Yeah, our live and let live bullshit is why we've got a Muslims in Congress. Mamdani is running New York. At a point, as Gen Xers, you have to realize, yeah, it's our fault. You know, Minnesota's full of fucking jackholes. It's our fault. When they decided to drop 500,000 Somalis into the middle of Minneapolis, we didn't care.
Well, the problem here in Minnesota is that, how do I want to say this? It's institutional voting. My parents voted Democrat, so I'm going to vote Democrat. Or my parents vote Republican, so I'm going to vote Democrat. They're not thinking when they do this. You know what I'm saying?
Of course not.
They just pull the trigger. Oh, look, it's got a D next to it. I'm just going to check off all these. Well, they don't look at their positions or anything else. You know what I mean? So
right. But I'm talking something even deeper. At some point, I believe it was under Obama, may have been under Clinton. At some point, someone in our government thought it was a good idea to take a white bread, middle of the United States town and drop 500,000 Somalis in it.
Well,
and no one said anything.
You know who that is? They say it up here on the radio all the time. It's the white liberal woman is the most dangerous person on your block.
And what I'm saying is, while it's too late for that, maybe, we should have cared. Like when the government said they were going to do that, we should have been out in the streets throwing fits. But we, because we're Gen Xers and we're used to just doing our shit for ourselves, we're just like, yeah, whatever, you know. And the same is true, and not to be preachy, but the same is true with gaming. Every time something horrible has happened in the game culture, the Gen X people, myself included, have been like, well, you know, what are you going to do? I'm just going to play with my friends. I don't care what they say. And then what you end up with, we got kicked out of our own hobby.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a thing that literally
They're trying to kick us out. I mean, I was at the game store on Saturday and I had 3 people walk up to me and say, what edition are you playing? I said, first, and they're like, oh, the only edition. I'm like, more than welcome to join us if you want sometime. And, you know, so.
And I believe that because like down here, you run into some younger people that are just like over it with the newer stuff. They want that old hit. You know what I'm saying? And like, there's a couple of people at my table that started in 5th edition, would never play it again.
Oh God.
because, once they got used to that old school, you could die, shit matters, everything you do matters. They get addicted to that, it's like, so yeah, it is a shame, but I don't know. I mean, and I'm not trying to come off as like a way. I'm just saying that's kind of, in my opinion, what happened. Now, ask me what I think we could have done about it, and I'd tell you I don't know, actually, honestly. But the fact is, we didn't do anything at all. So, of course, Cold Iron made a new meme. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's got a bunch of like weird haired girls sitting around the table. And like one of them's like, I'm so looking forward to playing this D&D game. And the other one's like, yeah, I just hope whoever's running it respects our pronouns and isn't religious, blah, blah, blah. And it goes like a couple panels like that. And the last panel is me holding a copy of Hyperborea. I'm like, you ready, ladies? And they're all looking like, oh, shit. I got my big Orthodox cross on and shit. But to be honest, when I ran Adventure League, I ran the game for whoever got assigned to my table with no whatever. I never had a problem. I never really had a problem with it. But it's still funny, though, I recently gave him the PDF for Arkham Horror RPG core book. So I'll see how he feels about it. Okay, now I need to do some shading over here with some really, really effed up green. But so here is the highlight version.
Oh.
Yeah, you know who that is, right?
Nope.
Zargon.
Oh, okay.
Remember at the very bottom of B4?
Oh, okay.
Lost City. And just for funsies, I also highlighted a troll that I had laying around. So now I've got like this really kind of ghost green, plasmatic green color that he's going to get. And then, I mean, the mouth is going to be red. The eye will be red. The horn will be black. And all of his claws will be black. Yeah. So, yeah, I got my Mantis Warriors green. I've also got another color. It's like Fairy Queen something. It's a really, really like bright, ghostly green. I want him to look weird as shit. Slimy, actually. So when I do put a coat of lacquer on him, it will be hard coat, and I'm going to leave him glistening because
you got to get it so it drips a little bit, so it looks like he's actually slimy.
Right? That would be a good idea. And my brother was talking about last week. He tried to take over the game because we were talking about. They looked at the adventuring board. And they saw the adventures there. And Haas, just out of the blue, he's like, hey, I heard somewhere out in the plains, the wastelands of Gore, there's a lost city. I think we should go try to find it. And I'm just looking at him because I didn't tell him there was a lost city out there, not in game.
Mm-hmm.
But he was basically wanting to go through before the lost city. And the rest of the party's like, I didn't hear that. So they ended up going to Flan. And then last night they fought like 60 orcs at Kudo's Well, and they managed to win. It was, of course, Haas's cleric was at -7 before they bound his wound. Yeah, he is on his way out. And the scout was almost dead because he thought it'd be a good idea to climb up and stand on a roof to look around. When he climbed up on the roof to look around, the orcs had a ballista on the second floor of the tavern that kind of dominates Kudo's Well. And they had a couple guys with crossbows up there too. So he got shot at by 4 orcs with crossbows and an orc crude ballista. The ballista barely missed him because it had killed him. 6 dice 6, he'd been dead, right? But he got caught 2 crossbow bolts, which are 1 dice 6 plus 2 in Hyperborea. And he was not happy because he's only got like 17 hit points. So he's like, oh shit, I'm under half hit point. So his very next action, he slid off that roof and hid. And I'm just like, you're standing on the roof, just stand there looking around. The orcs know you're coming. They knew they were coming. So it turned into a whole battle. And then about halfway through the battle, my wife decided F this and activated her berserker cloak and turned into a giant cave bear and just started ripping ass through everything, right?
Yeah.
And, well, it's the cloak of the cave bear, actually. And then they broke. But by the time the orcs at Kudo's Well broke and ran away, only 6 of them escaped. So, you know what I mean? The rest of them were all murderized. And Hungar was the hero of the group, actually, because the witch in the group was really damaged and almost dead. And he ran up and stood next to her and told her she could use her transfer wounds spell. So she did, which meant when she touched Hungar, all of her wounds went away, but he got them all. And then the very next round, the leader of the orc tribe smacked him with a freaking magic footman's mace. He's -7. The only reason he lived is the orc with the 2-handed sword that ran up to try to kill it, put him out of his misery while he's on the ground, missed. Even though he had +4 to hit because he's trying to attack a prone, unconscious person. He couldn't coup de grace because it was still the middle of a battle.
Oh.
But he was definitely, he saw that the cleric was down. He saw that he was bleeding out, and he ran up and definitely tried to take his head off. Now, I know a lot of DMs say, don't attack the players when they're down and unconscious. I'm not one of those. Especially with orcs, because they're assholes. And they will try to kill you while you're on the ground, for sure. 100%. Especially the orcs in Hyperborea, which are the worst orcs you can imagine. Because they're actually half demon. So, or devil.
Yeah. Well, it's 7 o'clock, my man. 8 o'clock where you are. I don't know why you're not eating your din.
I ate earlier.
Oh.
Yeah, my wife made this badass like taco pie stuff, and she made a meatloaf the other day. So I've just been eating leftovers.
Oh.
Which,
Yeah, well.
My brother-in-law is going to be visiting soon, so I'm pretty stoked about that.
Is this the one from Georgia?
Yeah. He's going on a cruise. He wanted me to go on the cruise too. I was like, hell no. But they decided to come down and hang out with us for a couple days before they actually go on the cruise.
Oh, that's nice.
And so we'll end up playing a bunch of games and bullshitting around and maybe drinking a little bit,
Yeah.
And then they'll leave Saturday morning. So the Saturday night Hyperborea game is still 100% on. and they'll come back sometime next week. I think they're going to Mexico or something.
Mexico.
Yeah. He was like seriously like, come on, man. Come with. I was like, no, not doing it. See, I painted his horn and now I'm painting all of the claws an
Oh,
oily black.
cool. You have a really shitty connection right now.
Oh, I always have a shitty connection, bro.
Yeah, well.
But if you gotta go eat, go eat.
No, I'm just gonna go upstairs and start making something to eat because the wife said, "Oh, I'll be home at 6." It's already 7, so that works.
Not really.
That's right. Your wife works right out of the house, so
Yeah, she works from home. So pretty much we see each other every waking moment of every day. Except when I'm in here. As a matter of fact, she's the one that came in and told me, hey, you streamed today, right? I was like, yeah, because, you know, she's super big on schedules, as I've said many times.
yeah.
All right.
Well, I'm hoping that I wonder if I have to go to maybe Micro Center has a. I wonder if Micro Center repairs stuff in house.
Well, like I said, I plugged in the phone or the computer charger to my new computer, the one I just bought, and that
Yeah.
motherfucker started smoking out of the keyboards.
Uh, uh, uh.
So I'm pretty sure that computer is dead.
I never know. It could be dog hair in there or something.
Yeah. Yeah, never know. Could be dog hair, or it could just be dead.
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards that is a dead ass computer right there.
Yeah.
Does not make me happy. I just bought it like a couple months ago.
Yeah.
I didn't pay a lot for it though, so at least I got that going for me. I didn't pay a whole lot, but still aggravating. I need to finish painting a blimmy today, take a picture of it, and send it to the woman who made them for me.
Oh, there you go.
Well, she requested it because no one sold a blimmy, so I got in contact with an Etsy creator. And I'm like, I need blimmies, which are these, the guys I showed you, the guys with their faces on their bellies. And they're from like Greek mythology or some shit. And, she agreed to do a custom job and cranked me out a bunch of them and gave me a good price.
There you go.
So, unfortunately, I've had to remove a lot of their hands to put weapons in them because they didn't have any weapons in their hands. Fortunately, though, I've got a lot of old fantasy orcs laying around, and their hands are like the perfect scale. So I've been using the extra weapons from the orc sprue and just snipping the hands off and putting them on the blimmies.
There you go.
Yeah, there I go. There I go again. What's my weakness? Energy drinks. Yeah, I almost let loose with a little bit of salt and pepper. I don't know if you know anything about that.
No.
No.
All right, my man. I'll catch you on the flip side. All right?
Catch you on the flip side.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Hanging out with the Victor. Hanging out. Yeah, it's Spectrum. It's Spectrum Man-O-War. It's nice that you Yeah. See, that's how awesome it is. Like that, you can tell it's freaking Spectrum. Like, ugh. See, I don't remember it being this bad when I was using uh, the other program. What was it? OBS or whatever, uh, Max uses. I don't remember losing connection and all that kind of shit when I was using Steam or SteamYard. So there is a part of me that does kind of wonder if some of this has to do with Restream being retarded, you know? Because, like I said, when I was running with StreamYard, I don't remember this, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was happening and I'm just, whatever. All right. See, now I'm going to let you guys look at air. Now he's got a mouth and an eyeball. Now I'm going to set him down, and when he's dry, he's going to get his wash with this really, really ghost green color. And that means I'm going to actually take a blimmy and maybe finish it. I think I like this guy with the spear. There's something about, like, see, just a dude with a spear. He's got his thing on. He's got kind of a cool shield. He's kind of looking like, a thing. So I'm gonna paint that shield red because I just put a little red on my palette. So rather than lose it, I'm going to use it. And then we will go with some, I need leather. Luckily, I have it right here. Because his sturges are made out of leather. And he's got a big satchel on his belt that's also leather. So we're going to do some leather. Well, Zargon dries up and prepares to come out of his slime hole and eat a bunch of characters up. Yum, yum, yum. So I don't know, man. Only a couple of us here, but I have an interesting question, and that is this. If a player in your game, like, does like what Hungar does, if he comes out of nowhere and he's like, hey, I heard there's a, adventure site somewhere that does exist in the world, don't get me wrong. How to handle that? Like, would you let him get it? Would you be like, yeah, there actually is a lost city, and you did hear the rumor? Or would you be like, hold on a minute here, did you hear that rumor or not? I'm personally starting to think that you should probably just let them go with it. Like if they expressed a natural interest in a particular adventure area, maybe you should just kick back and be like, go nuts, right? I don't know, though. I should have asked this question earlier when I had like a chat full of other DMs who would have had all kinds of opinions about it. Because I will tell you this, though. The Lost City, running the Lost City the way I've changed it for Hyperborea is going to be a blast. I already know that. It's absolutely going to be a blast, with the different factions and all of that. Yeah, it will be good. We'll see how the players deal with these ancient humans that have been living under there drinking lotus wine or whatever the hell they're drinking. And also, that is like the most like sword and sorcery thing ever, you know? A whole lost civilization buried underground for God only knows how long, and now you've wandered up on it. I mean, I don't know. It's like that sounds like something straight from R.E. Howard. You know what I mean? That is definitely like the plot of a Conan story, I'm sure. So, yeah. But the rate they're going in Flan, I don't know. They might clear it out pretty quick, you know? We'll see. We'll see. Next week, they have to decide if they're going to head to the library, Mender's Library, or if they're going to hit the Poto Plaza. And I'll be waiting with monsters ready to go. Now, I meant to ask Koss when he was here, since I set the computer up so he could see the table, kind of like how Bruce does, I did. And I was going to ask him if he liked the way I set out like the whole I set out Kobo Plaza or Kodo's well, I mean. I set it out like with actual 3D buildings and everything. So it looked like an actual tactical map of the block. And I usually don't do stuff like that, but I decided to do it. And I'm wondering if they liked it, if it was worth the problems, you know, the trouble of doing it or not. You know, because I could just draw shit out on my grid paper and just call it a day, right? I could just draw little lines and say this is this and this is that, and be done with it. But instead, I went all out to try to make it as epic as possible looking. So, yeah. And I need to talk to the players. Luckily, I can talk to my wife here in a little bit, since she was there, see what her opinion is. And I don't know. All right. This guy's coming out pretty good. Okay. All right. So, other than the flesh tone, the next thing I'm going to need is metallic. I think I'm going to go with brass, because these guys are they're pretty brassic. For those of you who don't know, brassic is kind of a slang word in Warhammer Fantasy for being broke. Like if someone says, "I'm totally brassic," it you know, it means they're broke, because the brass coin is the smallest denomination, the brass half penny or whatever. So let's see here. We've got now Shadow has told me about some of these colors. So what do we got here? We got Got a nice horde bronze. Bronze is good. We got to shake it up a lot because it looks like a lot of the pigments in there. There we go. There we go. Let's beat the snot out of this, to quote my man Bob Ross. Okay. See what we get. That's awful dark. I don't know if I care for that. See if I can lighten it up with a bit of boom, a little bit of aged ancient honey, which is a really good color for doing gold and stuff. That's not necessarily gold. Let's mix that together and see what we get, though. Still very dark, very dark. I just don't know if I care for how dark that is. Where is my... I want my dragon gold color or something like that. I think that's what I need. You know, I want it to be brighter than it is. Of course, I could just throw some silver on that bastard. That always works. You know, if you want to be a little brighter, you throw some straight up plata. And that'll hook it up. Or if you're using Pro Acryl, they have just a metallic medium that you can use. Oh yeah, that's a good color right there now. See, that was a good idea, right? Whoever came up with it, throw a little silver in there, and now it looks like a bright polished bronze as opposed to a really, really dark bronze. I was not super interested in a really dark bronze. So let's boom. See, I'm saving the flesh for last because it's the biggest part. I think I'm probably going to just use ruddy flesh on him to do like the basic coat, and then I'll come back and actually highlight and stuff like that, you know. So, yeah. Keep looking up and make sure nobody said anything. Oh, I went out of bounds over here. I went out of the lines. I'll have to redo the shield a little bit. It's okay, though. I think I'll let myself slide on that one. And then let's do some studs right there. Okay, so all right. Okay. Okay. I like that bronze. That's the bronze I wanted when I did Achilles, and it came out so super dark that I just didn't care for it. But I think before I move on to the flesh, I will find my Achilles. I just had him. I just actually highlighted his cloak. And might do a highlight on Mr. Achilles with this brighter bronze. Let me see now. That's no. Come on now. Show me Achilles. Ding, 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 ding. No? It's a problem. I need to get stuff off of my desk. Like this guy's done. He's ready. He's ready to go off the desk. Oh, there's Achilles. It's always the last place you look. See that? See how dark that came out? I'm not a fan of that. So let's go ahead and hit some of the higher areas of it, so that it's just a little lighter, so that you can see he's actually got a bronze shield and not whatever. I think the big problem is that that weapon bronze just needs to be mixed. Like for real, like I might need to sit in here at some point and just spend however long it takes to mix that, because I don't think it's supposed to be that dark. I think what I'm getting is like, the medium, but I'm not actually getting the see, and this is working great as like a highlight for Achilles. Achilles. That's right. Interesting thing, the Odyssey. I know a lot of people are talking about it. Maybe I should talk about it a little bit, but I'm not going to. I'm going to let Metron continue killing it because, if you really think about it, though, if you ever read, the Odyssey, the Trojan War parts, right? You kind of have to accept the fact that Achilles is not a good guy. No, not necessarily trying to say he's evil or anything, but I definitely wouldn't call him a good guy. He was pretty much all he cared about was his own fame, pretty much. And yeah, I would say Hector was kind of a good guy. And he got done bad, which I get it. I've got a younger brother, but if I think if I was in Hector's spot, I would have tucked her ass immediately back. And if my brother, say Hungar, had been like, well, if you take her back, I'm going with her, I'd been like, all right. And then I'd beat his ass and I'd have tied him up and put him in the hold of the ship. And then I drug his ass in front of our dad, our pops, and I told him what had happened, and then he would be grounded and not allowed near any boats or anything for a while. That's how I would have handled that shit. And it's not because, and I mean, it is out of love, because if I didn't love him, I would let him go back to Menelaus, and Menelaus would have probably made him into a gelding and done horrible things. So, yeah, I wouldn't do that. But I think I would have had to whip his ass. And let's be honest. See, that looks way better. I know the camera sucks, but yeah, that's a way better look. Let's be honest. What's Paris going to do versus freaking Hector? Hector beat Paris's ass. And Paris, would know it. It'd be like, whatever. there's literally nothing you're going to do. Hector will smack your ass around and then have you tied up and throw your ass in the hole and then dump Helen's dumb ass off. And yeah, I know what would happen to Helen. Menelaus would probably strangle her to death. But you know whose problem that isn't? Mine. It's not my problem. And I think also I can be forgiven for not being super, whatever with women who are unfaithful to their husbands. Because at the end of the day, in no way is Helen ever the good guy. Like, she literally fled from her husband across the sea, married Paris. When Paris died, she married his brother. So it's like, she's a terrible person. That's what I'm saying. An absolutely terrible human being. So, yeah, she does not get a lot of sympathy from me for being such a terrible human being. It's like, get out of here. Cheating on your husband. The one thing that didn't make sense to me is, sure, I like what's his name is Legolas as much as the next guy, right? But, a Spartan woman leaving a big burly dude like the guy that played Menelaus for a little bitch. I don't know. That just doesn't sit right with me. I'm thinking, I know I'm probably wrong, but still part of me is thinking, damn, woman, that's not an upgrade. That's a downgrade. You just downgraded big time, You were literally married to this big burly guy who is the king of Sparta, and you ran off with this little womanly looking bitch ass dude who just a prince and not even in line to be the king unless he murders his brother or something. So yeah, there's a part of me that's just doesn't get that shit. I'm just like, why would anyone do that? And then they're all like, well, it was for love. And it's like, they only knew each other for like 3 days. Get out of here with for love. Get out of here. You don't even know her. We'll go home. There's like 100 freaking chicks in Troy that would do anything to be with you. So, let's just go do that. How about that, buddy? No, let's get everybody killed. That sounds better. That's the smarter play, obviously. Get everybody killed. Good play. Good play. I need to go there. Leah Crota. Rah. Okay, so where did my flesh color go that I was just looking at? Is this it? I think this is it. No, that's the shade. That's not the actual color. The actual contrast. I was looking for my ruddy flesh. I figure these guys, they barely wear clothes. They're out in the sun all the time. They're probably pretty dark, If they were real pale skin, they'd probably just get burned up. That's no good. We don't need a bunch of burn up dudes running around. They're like, ow, I'm burn up. Help me out. Be like, nope. These guys could end up being friends with the party, actually. Just depends on how the party acts, you know, and what the roll is on the freaking die. Now this guy is not going to be friends with the party at all. And I have to say this: when I bought this, I really was hoping it was about half the size it is. I really was. I did not expect it to be this big. I really thought it would be about the size of a troll, something, you know, on the large size, but I wasn't thinking hill giant large. Okay, here we are. But hey, you know, that is one hell of a Yeti right there, is all I'm saying. I mean, that Yeti's like 20 feet tall. Or abominable snowman or whatever. So I kind of effed up because when I bought him, I bought 3. And I'm not sure that there will ever come an encounter where I'm actually going to need 3 gigantic Yetis stomping around. So, I mean, we will see. We will see, but I just don't see it being super necessary, you know? So, whoever the third person who just dropped in, hello. Yeah, didn't get really to talk about Hyperborea as much as I wanted to. That happens sometimes. Just how it is, you know. You're doing your thing. People, because I tend to let conversations go where they're going to go. I know some people will like heavily moderate and get on people if they step out of what the subject is. And honestly, that's probably the best way to do it. But I just don't do that. Probably should, though. Probably should give my brother moderation rights on the channel and have him keep track of shit. But see, Max does that, and it works out for him pretty well. Right. And I'm thinking maybe I should pick that up and because I didn't want to talk about the settings so much in Hyperborea as the actual game and things that Hyperborea does, in my opinion, better than other games. And there are a plethora, let's say, to use a big word for Hefe's birthday. There are a plethora of things that I feel Hyperborea does much better. Like one of the big ones is the way Hyperborea does alignment is better. You know, instead of the 8-sided or whatever, it's 5 alignments. And in play, it just works better. Having thief skills be on a die 12, I just think that's a really good idea. You know? So your thief just needs to roll under whatever on a die 12. I think that's a pretty genius idea. I like the way saving throws are done. Basically, your saving throw is a number determined by your level. And then depending on your class, you get bonuses to a couple of them. Or if you're like a barbarian or a berserker, you can get bonuses to all of them. But, you know, that's a whole different thing, right? We're talking about there. So, yeah, it's just so as you level up, instead of having to look to see what your saving throws are, the base saving throw goes down. And so you continue to just get better and better at the thing your class is good at being against. It's kind of like when you start the game, you've got your attack matrix. So think like THAC0, right? But every time you level up, depending on your class, you get a bonus to your fighting skill. And so instead of every time you level up having to change your, attack matrix, the attack matrix just stays the same, but your bonus to hit goes up. So if at level 1 you have a 19 to hit armor class 0, as a fighter at level 6, you still have a 19 to hit armor class 0, but you get 6 plus 6 on the attack just because of your level 6 fight. It's just so much easier, so much simpler, so much less paperwork. You just write down a plus. You don't worry about other stuff like that. I like the fact, this is actually a part of the game that I really love, that you can, when you get 4th level in a class, you can pick another weapon that you can be specialized in, and it doesn't have to be off of your class list of weapons that you could be specialized in. I love that. That means that a mage that survives to level 4 can pick up skill in a longbow. That is absolutely maybe one of the coolest things ever, right? So if you're playing a mage, you're probably going to put your second highest score in dex anyway, because you don't want to get hit under any circumstance, right? And if you've got a dex bonus, when you get that higher level, you just pick up a specialization in longbow, and now you can actually hang back in the background as a mage, whipping arrows, maybe with even a decent, dex bonus to hit, and do something, Like the scout in our group, scouts are thieves, and basically they get all the light versions of the ranged weapons, but he hit level 4 and he decided to pick up a heavy crossbow as a skill. So now he can carry and use a heavy crossbow. Now, personally, I probably will went for the longbow because of the increased damage capability. But then again, crossbow does 1d6 plus 2 damage. So the minimum damage a crossbow is going to do is 3. And then the max, unless you're specialized or some other thing, is going to be an 8. Whereas the longbow just does the dice 6. So, I mean, in theory, even if you're firing every round with the longbow, you could end up doing less damage than the guy firing every other round with the crossbow, just based on the fact that he's doing a minimum of 3 and you could do a minimum of 1. So, yeah. I'm painting this rope, making sure it's nice and ropey looking, hempy looking. Got a hemp rope over here. And I need more of this. because I saw in here. I decided to paint his arm bracelet copper colored. I think that's a good color for him, copper, you know. He's got a copper torque he's wearing. And, you know, tell the players it's copper torque. You could probably sell it for, I don't know, half gold, maybe gold. Depends. But yeah, when I'm done with this, I'm definitely taking a picture. I'm sending it to the girl up north there to let her know this is what has become of the custom figures you made for me. Thank you so much. Okay. So paint the inside of his mouth red. I think I'll probably end in about 15 minutes, since in about 15 minutes I'll probably be actually done painting this figure. So that might be a happy circumstance right there. Okay. Paint his teeth. Ain't got a whole lot of them, so, you know. I'm starting the paint of the teeth with some Iraqi sand, and then I might highlight it with some white. If you're wondering, I am using like a number 1. Let me see. Where is it? Yeah, it's like a number 1 brush. I do a lot of my painting with the number 1 brush, which is probably why some of it's so sloppy. Like when I watch Bruce and Shadow paint, they're always painting with like the tiniest, tiny little brushes. And I probably should be doing that, but I'm using this number 1 round. When you're painting really big stuff, it doesn't matter. So I do have small brushes though. Now the eyes, I'm not going to worry with the brushes for, because I have some Gundam pins, paint pins. So yeah, I'll just end up putting the dots in with the pins for the pupils, you know. Okay. All right. I need to do his belt. I did it a tan color, but unfortunately the tan that I used to do the belt is blending in with the tan I used to do the flesh. So I'm going to take some of my beloved snakebite leather and run it over that belt. I'll tell you what, I think snakebite leather is probably the best contrast color ever made. I mean, old snakebite leather never lets me down. Yeah, right. Oh yeah, that looks way better now. There's an actual contrast between, you know, you can actually tell he's got a belt. Right. So, I mean, at some point he's going to get a wash, but for right now, you know, I'm just trying to get him done. Just trying to get him done. My wife is cleaning out the kitchen to throw away all the stuff that needs to be thrown away. So I need to let this guy dry for a minute. While I'm letting him dry, I'm going to take this black charcoal paint that was given to me for free by Reaper. Not really, since, I bought miniatures and it was just the free thing. They're like, have some coal black. And I am going to do this Yeti's horns in coal black. Since he's a blue-white color, I feel like the coal black will just, it'll look better. It'll look a lot cooler. That's what I'm shooting for over here. And so far it does. All right. I mean, his teeth will be white-ish, and his mouth will be red, but the horns and claws, I think I'm going to do with this black. And so far, I have to say that I think that was a very good choice. See, because I'll show you the horns. I mean, you see how, they're so visible, and that's kind of what you want. You want that. So now we just paint some fingernails, some claws. I'm going to paint them black too. All right. Tequila. Just FYI, if you're ever in the Arctic and you hear Tequila, yeah, run. Don't hang out. It's not going to be a good idea. All right. I'm even doing his toenails. See, this guy's going to have matching finger and toenails. He's a goth bro. He's got like the black fingernails done up. The goth bros know. All right. Oh, man. I'm sure this is incredibly exciting to watch. Fat man sits in room painting stuff that you can't even see. Wow. All right. All right. Look at this guy. Yeah, pretty happy with that. I might put some Agrax Earthshade on the tee to pick them out and make them look like nasty, but other than that, I think this guy is good. I think he is ready to rock. Ready to rock and roll. All right, so now we go back to my Blenny. And I've already fixed the shield where I went over it badly. And I've fixed up the leather, so that's good. So now I'm going to take some tanned flesh from Pro Acryl. I really like their tanned flesh. Actually, I really one of these days Acryl paint set. One of these days I'll do it again. Now between then and now, I've ordered a ton of Pro Acryl Bright Pyrite Red because that is my Paint and Blood Angels color. Bright Pyrite Red. I usually start with a dark red as the base color, like a Mephiston red or something that's kind of darker. And then I do a dry brush over the armor with the Pyrite Red. And you end up with really, really red, vivid looking blood angels. And since all the blood angels I paint these days are Horus Heresy blood angels, that's what I want. I want them to be like fancier, I guess, cleaner looking a little bit. Even though there is a part of me that's often thought about painting up the Revenants, which were the Blood Angels before they were the Blood Angels, and they just wore gray armor that would be spattered with blood because, you know, they were big fans of getting close and fighting like that. So, okay, paint the hands, try not to get on anything. Paint the hand. Nice, nice. Just barely doing my thing over here. Don't take much color. Don't take much color at all. All right. This is looking pretty good. Paint his little butt because he's not wearing any pants back here. And then paint his back because apparently I didn't. Just highlighting it just a little bit, just a little highlight. Let's see. So I need to do his eyes, and I need to do his teeth, and then I need to do the base. But otherwise, it's pretty good. That's good enough to take a picture to send to a lady to show her what I have done with her product, I think. So I'm putting down some coal black because I'm going to paint the rim of the base. I like to paint the rim of the base black. I think that's just a 40K thing, you know. Tell you what, I kind of like this coal black quite a bit. Because I mean it's black, but it's actually like a really dark gray. And yeah, that's a pretty good color. I like it. So okay. Now I need a little white to get those eyes. And a pointy brush. Still number one, it's just got a really good point. So let's see. Okay, there it is. This is the tiniest little drip. Okay. So there's with teeth and eyeballs. And then, of course, like I said, I will use my Gundam pen to put the pupils in. Okay. Yep. And then it will be done. So I'll go ahead and end this just a little bit early. So peace and love, guys. It's been a good Monday, and I will catch you all on the flip side.